All right, so just got done seeing Jackass Best and Last, and it was overall really funny. There was some moments where it was just very, very funny, and a lot of the stunts and everything was set up really well. They did quite a bit of flashback scenes of some of their previous stunts and movies, and that took up a pretty decent chunk of the movie. But it was interesting seeing like lots of the extra footage that they happen to include, and then some other behind the scenes information that really made this movie feel like more of a, not that it had a story, but there was like a narrative going throughout it that was really interestingly tied together to present day jackassery. And I didn't know that I didn't know who was going to be in it in total, and there's some good stuff in there. You can't have like everybody, but I think you have like mostly the core group, and of course the other newcomers who their role in this is kind of small overall, except one of them has a fair amount, but yeah, their presence is perfectly good, but it's mostly the main Jackass crew doing everything. And it's interesting because they can't really do the same stuff that they did in especially the first three movies, because there's lots of reasons, not just because they're getting older or something like that. There's reasons totally different than that. So they do a lot of elaborate and some interesting jokes, and some good comedy thrown in there, like actual comedy. There's a lot of quick one-liners by everyone, and just once again some really standout stuff. It'll be gross. There's some scenes that there's some stuff I definitely did not want to look at, but overall, it was exactly what it should have been. Right now, I thought they mostly did a lot of really funny stuff, and then did some actually kind of dangerous stuff too. There's a couple of moments where there's something that happens at the very beginning where you're like, the joke could go either way here. Either way, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out, and that happens a lot with the newer jokes of how you're kind of curious about how it's going to go, and then you're kind of there a little bit along for the ride, and it's really interesting to see how it's played out. But like I said, on top of that, there's some really funny stuff going on. So I really enjoyed it. They do ask a question, I guess the question about is it really the last one? And I guess you can never say no for sure. It's not like they're 70 or something like that already. But yeah, they could always evolve and still do some crazy stuff. It's you never know. But if this is the last one, I say it's really good. And I look forward to Jackass First and Last .5, and then I get to watch all of them over again. And this one is definitely right there in the rotation. Really good stuff. And it's not going to be a surprise to anybody who's curious about whether they're going to see this. It's either for them or not. And I'm glad it worked out in the end, and nothing made me feel like, they're just getting too old for this. Definitely not. Definitely not.